In this episode of Vlogmas, I'll be talking to you about the importance of just checking your bank account, whether it be online banking and your statements periodically. Hey Wealth Builders, welcome back to another episode of The Bemused. I'm Mishak, and on this channel we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like yourself and us. So a little backstory for you. Sorry, I'm in a classroom, so I might be checking to see if anyone's around. A little backstory for you. This week, I went online, checked my accounts, and I noticed that some of the totals for each of the days after each transactions were a little off. Some of them by $100, some of them by, even more. So that kind of got me a little worried. So what I did was I decided to check my spreadsheet, which most of you have heard me refer to, that I track my spending pretty much everything in my Excel spreadsheet. So I went back to that spreadsheet and looked based off of what I've been calculating, what my balance should have been after that transaction. And I noticed that there was a discrepancy. So I said, hey, I could have made a mistake. Maybe I put in a 0 where there should have been a 2 or something like that, or some sort of transpositional error. So I went to the transaction before that, noticed that that one was off. Said, okay, well, maybe I could have made a mistake there too. Because if I made a mistake on the first transaction of the month, it could have thrown off the whole spreadsheet. So I said, well, let me go back to the 1st of October. Because I know that statement, when I ended it out, or that month, that my transactions were the same as what the bank was reflecting for online banking. I noticed that that was also off. So then at that point I said, you know what, there's no way that I have been doing this wrong and inputting incorrect data from since November. I went back as far as even to September, and things were off. So at this point I am pretty upset. And I call Akiva because I'm like, hey, what is going on? Are you experiencing this? We use a similar financial institution. And she was like, no, I haven't checked. And I got on and I showed her what was going on. And then I decided to give the bank a call. And I'm like, hey, this is at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, hey, do you know what's going on? I'm noticing that my balances are varying based off of what I know that they're supposed to be. And the representative truly was really no help. She just got on, she's like, yeah, I'm looking, and I noticed that, things do look a little off. And at that point, that's when I said, well, you know what, let me look at the statement while I have you on the phone. So I looked at my statement that the bank had published on the website, and I went back to September 10th, that transaction specifically, because I only had one transaction on that day. And I said, well, according to what you guys gave me, I was supposed to have on that day, let's say $2,000 in my account after that transaction. And when I looked on the online banking, just scrolling through my transactions, it was showing like $1,500, for example. So it was off, and that example would be off $500. And she was like, yeah, the representative is telling me I don't really know what's going on, but we've been experiencing issues. I experienced some issues with my account as well. So my frustration there was just, hey, if there have been issues with the online banking, when was you guys going to send out an email to your customers to let them know that the balances that you might be seeing might be incorrect or something? So there was no notice. So again, just the importance of making sure that you're checking your statements, even if you get electronic statements or paperless, make sure that you're checking them. If you're not like me and checking up on your accounts daily, you hope that these financial institutions will be honest, but you truly never know, and it's your funds there, so you need to be really invested in making sure that you are checking up on them ever so often to make sure that the figures that are being displayed in your account are accurate. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard where people will say that, oh, a penny has been missing for X amount of weeks or months or something like that, and they never paid any attention to it because it's a penny. But a penny adds up over time. Just like $100 for my account or $500, I'm gonna miss that. will add up over time as well. The upside to the story is that it did look like it was just some sort of glitch that was affecting their online banking, and the funds were indeed there. After I went on the next day, everything, I guess, refreshed and reconciled and went back to what it was supposed to be. But at least I had those electronic statements. That might kind of go back to another point, is that with the electronic statements, I don't necessarily say that financial institutions are going to be dishonest, but something to think about. If they're giving you an electronic statement, they can manipulate that at any time and change it to show whatever it is that they need it to show. Not saying that they would do that, not accusing a financial institution of doing that, but I'm saying it's a possibility. When you don't receive a paper statement where you actually have a document on their letterhead showing, well, no, this is supposed to be my balance after this transaction, and everything is online, it can get a little tricky. And I mean, even with me keeping detailed records, it's still my word against theirs. So the takeaway from this story is, again, to make sure that you are being invested in your funds by checking up on them periodically. Maybe it'd be monthly. At the end of the month, you reconcile your statement and make sure all your finances are in order. And that's with every single account, not just your main checking account. Check up on your savings accounts as well. Another good tip would be to just make sure that you are mindful of what you're spending, and that goes into budgeting. So thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss when we post new content. See you in the next one. Bye.